Hello, my name is Marco Garza, and this is my literacy autobiography for Dr. Almaguet's R Lit 6330 class. My literacy autobiography is inspired by Dr. Seuss. I grew up reading his words of rhyme. I believe that his books spread the magic of literacy. He is my inspiration. I truly believe that his messages are filled with wisdom that will transcend through the centuries of time. As Dr. Seuss states, the more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak was the first book that I read. It was an experience that I will never forget. It is still my favorite book. I love the imagery and the adventure of this story. This book will always hold a special place in my heart. I truly believe that reading is the reason for my success in life. As a child, I grew up in a bilingual environment. My family exposed me to English and Spanish storytelling. I developed my language by listening to stories. If I could go back in time and hear some stories again, I would say it would be fairy tales or folk tales from the book Stories That Must Not Die. I used to love to hear them tell me the stories of La Llorona, La Lechuza, and many others. These are memories that I will cherish forever. Dinosaurs were another one of my passions growing up as a child. Anything that was dinosaur related, I had. When I found out that they had books about dinosaurs, I was in a reader's paradise. In my path of literacy in my preteen years, I followed R.L. Stine. He wrote some of the scariest books for children. Night of the Living Dummy, The Haunted Mask, and Monster Blood are just a few of those terrifying titles which still give me goosebumps till this day. In high school, for pleasure was put to the side and required readings took over my schedule. From A Clockwork Orange to Memoirs of a Geisha to The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, each of these fantastic readings played an important role in expanding my reading genres. Once I got into college, required novels became a thing of the past. Although I will never forget this book that I had to read for one of my English classes. This book really helped me open my eyes and it made me realize that as a teacher, we must always look for warning signs in our students. This book was one of my inspirations which led me on my path to become an educator. Even though college is filled with academic reading, I always found time to read for enjoyment. Stephen King's books made a huge impact on my life and taught me a lot of valuable lessons. Books such as Stephen King's It, The Stand, and The Shining will always have a special place in my heart. To this day, I am always on the lookout for any new books by Stephen King. I eventually graduated from college and started teaching. In my classroom, I follow a constructivist theory of learning. According to Vygotsky, language is one of the elements that defines a person's cultural identity because language is the basis for thinking and communication. This is the reason why I read out loud to my students daily. I believe that this is critical if I am to provide my students with different opportunities to develop their language and for them to be exposed to different genres of literature. I accomplish this task daily by providing opportunities for my students to discuss the different literature selections that I read out loud to them each day. My personal theory of literacy evolves around the three main components of literacy: being read to for the slow learners and for enjoyment, read with for students that need extra guidance, and reading independently for students who have mastered reading at their zone of proximal development. My philosophy revolves around always setting time aside for reading, reading aloud to my students daily, exposing the students to a variety of reading genres, providing many books for my students to read in the classroom, promoting the Reading Renaissance program. I leave you with a message from my mentor, Dr. Seuss. Make time to read to others, because you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. One day your ex-students may see you at the grocery store. They will see you and say, "I remember that you would read to us every day." It will be at this point that you will realize that a daily ritual of reading aloud to your students has become a memory that will last a lifetime. The seeds of literacy have been planted, just like they were in my life. In my autobiography of literacy, I leave you with these words. You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book.